believes I can't sleep.
It's time to listen to Courtney at last on the Ramblings of an Insomniac podcast.
Hello, fellow insomniacs. Welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. I'm sitting in my car, so I'm not positive how well this is going to turn out. It's pouring down rain, and I don't feel like walking around in it right this moment with my phone. I mean, I have to walk my dog, so I'm from the coast. No self-respecting coastie cares about a little rain. I just can't have my phone out in it is my problem. I won't melt. Rain is fine. My phone, however, not so much. So we're going to see how this goes in my car. It might sound like crap. And I mean, as we know, most of my podcasts don't sound great. So if it sounds worse, that's probably not a good thing. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, so hi. How the heck are you? If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. I appreciate you. You are welcome here. This is a space for everybody. All are welcome. Come, hear ye. Come one, come all. You are welcome here. I don't care who you are, where you live, what political side of the fence you are on. The more the merrier, you know? So, what has been keeping me up? Well, that's a lot, actually. But one of the things is I have this weird thing where I want to help everybody all the time, but to a fault. Like, I'm sure people are like, well, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, right? It's good that you're helpful and you want to help people, but not always. The problem is I get myself into sticky situations because I want to help even if it means that it's going to put me out, even if it's not best for me, even if it's going to make life more difficult for myself. I tend to still want to help others. I don't know. And so we have this dog that comes to the kennel that I love so much. I adore her, and I used to always tease her parents that I was going to dog nap her and I was going to take her and she was going to be at my house because I just adored her. And unfortunately, they came upon a situation where they could no longer keep her. She started getting a little snarky with their baby, their toddler. And this dog is like the best dog in the world, and I absolutely adore her. She's so fantastic. And the issue is I have several dogs, and it's my dogs that are just kind of assholes because not kind of, they are. Unfortunately, they haven't been socialized because living out in the country, I totally admit I don't walk them. I work them mentally. I give them a huge mental workout, and I also give them physical workouts. But I don't walk them on a leash, and they aren't around other dogs. They're around each other. So unfortunately, they haven't been socialized, and they're having a hard time adjusting. And it's something that I think that they'll get over. But right now, they're in the middle of a lot of adjustments. They're going through a lot right now, and I don't want to add one more thing. And when we look at it from just all these different angles, we've been trying really hard to make it work because we love the family and we love their dog and we want to help them. And she's going to be probably harder to find a home from because she's a really large dog. And so I tend to try to really want to make things work so that it's easier for somebody else, and because I just really want to help people. But like I said, unfortunately, it's kind of at a detriment to myself. And then I feel bad because I don't want to say no because I don't want them to have to go through the difficulty of trying to find a home and all of that. And it's tearing me up to the point that my stomach is hurting and I'm losing sleep. And I hate that because I do that to myself a lot. I will take on other people's responsibilities because I want to help them out and I don't want others to struggle. And that's sort of a bad habit because I also do it, with my family. I take on my family's struggles and my family's responsibilities because I don't want them to struggle. And I feel like I'm helping them. But of course, when you're always picking up somebody else's pieces, they don't learn to clean up their own messes. They don't learn responsibility. They don't learn how to deal with life. They don't learn accountability. And it's something that I've struggled with for a long time. I think coming from the background that I come from, where I grew up by myself and I had to do everything on my own. I, cooked my own meals most of the time. I babysat myself. I got myself to and from school. I was the one that took care of myself, and I'm an only child. So I didn't have siblings to like vent to or to, you know, help me or look out after me or siblings to look out after. It was just me, myself, and I. And I was left home a lot. And I think I overshot. I went to the other extreme and I started feeling like I don't want anyone else to feel like, they have to do it on their own or like they're alone and they don't have help. I don't want other people to struggle. Um, and then I also go to the other extreme because I never want help or accept help from others, though. And I mean, little stuff like just the silliest things, like I just sold this over the toilet cabinet storage unit thing, and it was brand new in the box. I was a dummy and I got it thinking and not reading. I always read the reviews. Well, 90% of the time I read reviews. And this time I read the review, but I didn't pay attention to the fact that it said that it was hard to assemble. I just saw that it was sturdy and all of that. And I was like, sold, cool. And then I went back and I saw the reviews and it said that it was pretty complicated to assemble. And I opened it up and I was like, oh my God, I'm not even going to deal with this. And I didn't even take it out of the package. I just opened it and saw what it was and looked at the instructions. And I was like, fuck no. I have enough on my plate. I know myself and I'm not going to want to put this together. I hate putting together things. I detest it so much. Like if it were some type of military um, drill where you had to put together a thing. Otherwise, you get like tortured. I don't know. I guess I would just be tortured because I do not. I can put it together. I just get frustrated real quick. And I have no patience for that stuff, like none. I am one that wants to throw it across the room. I hate reading instructions. It drives me insane to have to read instructions. And I swear they just seem to confuse me further. The more I read instructions, the more confused I am, I feel like. And it's the whole patience factor. So anyways, I had this thing and I was like, hell to the no. And so I decided to sell it on Facebook Marketplace. And this person's like, hey, will you take this amount for it? And I'm like, fine. And I knew that I probably should have asked more for it, but I was like, well, they're doing me a favor. I don't feel like I was being really lazy and I didn't feel like taking it back and driving a half an hour to the store that I had to take it back out and printing out a label, which is not a big deal. But I didn't want to. So I sold it. And this person that I sold it to was talking about why they needed it. And we kind of got on this topic of the fact that they just moved here and from Montana. And we ended up chatting and they ended up telling me a lot of their about their life. And I never mind that. I genuinely, like I've said before in my podcast, when people do that, I want to listen because I always look at it like, what if they have nobody else? What if they needed to listen because, I'm like, what if they were going to off themselves the next day because they just wanted one person to listen to them? I'm not trying to sound like I'm some saint or I'm saving somebody's life at all. I kind of look at it like, what if they genuinely just needed to get that off their chest and to make them feel better? But I do that again at the detriment of myself because I was pretty busy and I have a lot of stuff that I have to achieve tonight. I have a lot to get done. Plus it was cold when we were standing outside, but I never want to be rude and I always want to help and I always want to listen. And I'll do it even when I'm freezing and I'll do it even when I'm on a time crunch. And I do that a lot, but yet I won't ask for help at all. I don't even want people to I had a free coffee today. I'm such a freaking weirdo about using my free coffees because I feel like someone's doing me a favor. Now, I could go to that coffee shop every single day for like 2 years, and I could tip really well and always be very polite and be a super loyal customer. And coffees are not cheap, they're expensive. So I know that I deserve and I've earned that free coffee. And I know that I've always been polite and tipped well. And I know that I've earned that free coffee. And I know that they have that for a reason. They have it because it's like customer appreciation. They want to show customers, especially ones that come all the time, hey, this one's on us because we appreciate you. We see you. But I'm still a big old weirdo. And I look at it like, oh man, then they're giving me something for free. And then I feel weird about it because it's somebody I feel like helping me. And I know it's not, but I get all weird about it. And then I feel like I still need to leave a big tip because they're not making, I don't know. It's this whole weird cycle that I get into that I won't even use a free coffee. Even though, like I said, I've gone to that place a million times and I tip well and I treat people well and I even buy other people coffees. I try to buy once a month. I try to buy the person behind me a coffee. I try to do that at least once a month. So I know that I deserve a free coffee, but I am just weird about it. So today I used my free coffee that I've had for probably a year now. I shit you not. I've probably had this free coffee for like a year and I used it and I felt so weird and I felt like it was tainted coffee that I couldn't drink. It's so dumb. It's just, I'm a big weirdo. I was at the Dollar Tree last week and I don't know why I said last week. It's probably been like 2, 3 weeks ago now. I think that's a woman thing. We always say the other day. The other day could mean anything from 2 days ago to 2 years ago. The other day is a very broad thing. So this was probably like 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. And I was at the Dollar Tree and they have these shopping carts that have these tall poles on it. And I was not paying attention, really. I mean, I saw the pole. I knew it was there. But the thought was not occurring to me that they have those so that people can't take the shopping carts outside because they don't want people to steal their carts. So they make it where you can't take the carts outside. So if you put stuff in the shopping cart and you have it all bagged up, you have to then take those bags out. You have to carry those bags out and you have to hold them, not put them in the shopping cart. Well, I wasn't paying attention to that and I got quite a few things and it was pouring down rain. And they were pretty flimsy bags and they were already almost ripping and it was pouring down rain. And I was like, ah. And the parking lot was seriously starting to flood. And I was like, this is lovely. And I had probably 4 bags and they were just awkward. And I couldn't carry one in each hand because the bottom of it wasn't very secure. So I could only carry one bag at a time because I had to hold the bottom so that it didn't bust through. Well, this elderly woman who was so stinking sweet, she had these cloth bags in her car and her car was parked next to mine and she saw my struggles because she was in the store with me and she saw my struggles and she was like, honey, I'm going to go out and I'm going to get you some of my shopping bags that are cloth and we can put, these bags, these paper bags inside of it and you can bring them to your car and I'll help you. I can carry 2, you can carry 2. And I was like, no, it's okay. Really. It's no big deal. I don't want you to have to do that. And she's like, no, I insist. And then I was totally torn because I was raised that you respect your elders. I was raised that you do what they want you to. And I didn't want her to think that I thought she was feeble because she certainly was not feeble. She was very capable. She was very able. And it wasn't that I thought that she wasn't capable or able. I was always raised to help people older than me, not have them help me. So then it was this whole thing. But then I was like, oh my God, it would be nice though, because this is just a real pain in the butt. And I was in a hurry and it was a whole thing. But I had to struggle. And finally she was like, I'm doing it. And, she basically just started walking with me. And I was like, Courtney, allow her to help. Clearly she wants to. And I didn't want to be disrespectful. But I really had a hard time with it. It was ridiculous. Nobody should have that hard of a time and struggle with help like I do. And yet I don't like it when people don't accept help from me. I want to be able to help others, and I want them just to be able to let me do it because I like doing it. It's not because I want them to think I'm amazing. It's not because I want them to get me back and do something for me. They don't have to do something for me in return. I'm not wanting that. I just like helping. So, I've had counselors and friends and people tell me, hey, it's almost rude not to accept other people's help because they're doing it for the same reasons that you are. And you're not allowing them to help you, and they really want to. So I try to remember that, and I try to allow it. But man, it is not my forte. It's not where I shine. How many of you are like that? Do you accept help? Are you one that's helpful to a fault? Do you have a hard time, telling people no? It's not even that I have a hard time telling people no. I just offer my services before I think about it, before I realize that that's probably too much for me to do. I don't know. It's ridiculous. It really is. Anyway, hey, I'm trying to get all my podcasts up on YouTube, and for some reason it's only downloading like half of them, not all of them. I'm not sure why, so I'm working on that. I'm trying to work out the kinks. But I'm noticing more and more people listening, and man, that is just so awesome to see. I am overjoyed. I love, love, love it. I love that people are liking what I have to say. Thank you. It means the world to me. Tell a friend. Tell more people. I would love even more. Let's have everybody listening. What else? So adjustments, a lot going on, a lot of adjustments in my life, and trying to work out the kinks. I don't mind change. Change is something that's kind of always happened in my life, so I've always had to adapt, and that's fine. It's just, at first you have to work it out and find your groove. And I have in many ways. I have found my groove, and then there's other ways that I'm learning to I'm still working out those. I'm still tweaking some things, but I'll get there. We're always adjusting, Things are different. I think that right now everybody kind of is taking a big exhale. I think that it's almost like the whole world has exhaled. We're like, ever since Trump has, ever since it's been announced that Trump will be our 47th president, I think the entire world, especially America, has breathed a sigh of relief. I think we all feel like we can breathe again. And even though it's absolutely stormy and rainy where I am, I still feel like it's a cheerful, happy day. I just feel like such a huge weight has been lifted. Even though it's pouring down rain, even though it's been stormier than ever, I still feel like it's been happier, and a weight and a storm cloud has been blown away. And sure, some dark clouds are here, but they're not Kamala clouds. They're not Kamala clouds. They're just rain clouds, and I can handle rain clouds. So I love that. I love that things seem hopeful. The air feels hopeful. The air feels less thick. When I went outside before, it felt suffocating and thick and just like Eeyore. Now it's like, yes, the air is fresh again, a fresh start, a new start. No longer, you can't smell the swamp anymore. That's what it is. We got rid of that swamp odor. I mean, they're still in office right now, but it's starting to blow away. That swamp air is blowing away. Thank the Lord. I'm not under the impression that Trump is a saint and going to be perfect, but man, it'll be great to finally have the corruption. A lot of the corruption will be sifted through and weeded out, and they can have don't let the big door hit you where the good Lord split you, as Tom McDonald's song Goodbye Joe says. Anyway, this is just a quick little podcast, just a quick one to say, do you feel like the air is thinner and fresher and cleaner? Do you feel like a weight has been lifted? I do. And are you one that helps maybe a little too much? If so, it's okay to not put someone else's pressure on yourself. You don't have to add anything to your plate. If you haven't cleaned off your plate yet, if you haven't cleaned off your own plate and you haven't finished what's on your own plate, you probably shouldn't add more to it, you know? I need to take that advice and I need to do that. That's for sure. Anyway, hey, this is just a shout out saying happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Thank you so much for everybody that's been listening. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. Thank you. And until next time, thanks for listening to the Ramblings of an Insomniac. And I really am going to try to get all my podcasts up on YouTube and iHeartRadio. And I'll have a longer podcast for you tomorrow. Thank you. Until next time.